We're going to pull back the curtain on something you probably use every single day, but maybe don't think too much about, your work dashboard. We're talking about the unseen art of how these digital workspaces are designed and how they can secretly make or break our entire workday.
So let's just dive right in with a question. Have you ever logged in first thing in the morning and bam, you're hit with this wall of information, menus everywhere, notifications pinging, and that one tool you actually need is, well, it's buried somewhere in there. Sound familiar?
Yeah, that feeling, that's not just you. It's a real thing called information overload. It's what happens when our most important tools get completely lost in all the digital clutter. And it does more than just slow us down. It's genuinely frustrating. And this brings us to what we'll call the dashboard dilemma. It's this tricky balancing act, right? Between having access to everything we could possibly need and actually being able to find the one thing that matters right now. But here's the interesting part. That chaos you're feeling, it's not always just a random mess. See, behind the scenes, for every single person struggling with a cluttered screen, there's usually a system administrator who's trying to bring a little bit of order to that chaos. And what's their most powerful tool in this fight for clarity? Well, it's something called dashboard templates. You can think of these as the secret weapon for creating a focused, efficient digital workspace for literally everyone in the company. So what is a dashboard template exactly? Just think of it like a master blueprint. It's a standard layout that an administrator can design and then push out to a whole group of users. This makes sure that everybody has a consistent, logical, and most importantly, effective place to start their work. But this isn't really about top-down control. It's all about making the day-to-day experience better for every single user and making their work just flow. So how do they actually do it? Well, the process really breaks down into 4 pretty clear steps. First, the admin has to find the right template to work on. Then, they pop it into a configuration mode to start editing. Third, and this is the fun part, they modify the layout. And finally, they publish those changes for everyone to see. Now, what's really cool about this whole process is how simple that modify step can be. We're not talking about writing complex lines of code here. A lot of the time, it's literally as simple as grabbing an item on the screen, dragging it, and dropping it into a better spot. And this table just illustrates the impact perfectly. Take a look. In the before layout, the common actions, the stuff people do all the time, are buried way down at the bottom. But with a simple drag and drop, in the after layout, they're right at the top, front, and center. That is a tiny change for the admin, but it's a huge time saver for every user every single day. Okay, so the layout is fixed, it looks great. Now it's time to publish it. But as you can imagine, rolling out a change across an entire organization is a little more involved than just clicking a save button. And here's the crucial thing to remember. A really successful update is all about smart change management. It's about communicating clearly what's changing, and maybe even more importantly, why it's changing for the better. An announcement as simple as this one can make all the difference in the world. It transforms what could be a confusing change into a really welcome improvement. It basically tells everyone, hey, we're listening, and we made this better for you. But this brings up a really important question. When an administrator hits that publish button, does everyone's screen just magically transform right then and there? Well, the answer is a little more nuanced, and it's designed that way for a very good reason. So the system is smart enough to know the difference between required changes and non-required changes. Required changes, think like a critical security update, those get pushed out automatically the next time you log in. No choice. But non-required changes, like our common actions example, they actually wait for the user to reset their dashboard. And this is so important because it respects any personal customizations they've already made. It gives them control. So we've spent a lot of time on the how. Now let's just zoom out for a second and talk about the why. Why does all this behind-the-scenes administrative work actually matter so much? Because the impact is massive. We're talking about a few smart layout changes that, when you multiply them by hundreds or even thousands of employees, can literally save thousands of hours of wasted time and effort across the entire company. And this creates this incredible ripple effect. See, good design reduces that mental clutter, which makes workflows more efficient. And when people's tools just work, their job satisfaction goes up. It ensures that everyone has what they need and creates a shared, consistent experience for the whole team. It is so much more than just moving boxes around on a screen. So we'll leave you with this final thought.
The dashboard you look at every single day plays a huge role in shaping your workday, your focus, and your overall efficiency. So maybe the next time you log in, just ask yourself, who's shaping this experience for me? And what choices did they make to make my day just a little bit easier?
Hey there, and